So, you're thinking about getting into custom apparel with DTF printing, maybe making some tees, some hoodies, but you're also thinking, man, these DTF printers are expensive. Maybe I can just save some cash and grab a used one. Yeah, that's a thought that a lot of people have. It makes sense, right? Especially when you see the prices of those brand new printers. DTF is awesome for so many different types of fabrics, and the prints, they're super durable. They last. But there's a lot of things to think about when it comes to used versus new in 2025. And if you are considering something like this, you are in the right place to get the lowdown. My name is Alex, and I am the owner here of AMSTransfers.com. We're a custom screen print and DTF transfer supplier located in Houston, Texas. As you can see behind me, we are currently running 4 24-inch Audley DTF printers, and today I'm going to dive deep, really get into the nitty-gritty of what you need to consider when weighing the decision. Should you buy a DTF printer in 2025? I'm going to be covering all of the bases. I'm talking reliability, the support, finding parts, making sure that the prints that you get from a used DTF printer is top-notch and what to look for. And of course, I think probably most importantly, how to avoid the scams out there. I've been digging into some seriously amazing resources to bring you guys the most up-to-date info. I want to make sure that you guys have all of the tools that you need at your disposal to make a smart decision, one that fits your needs, because there's a lot of crap out there. So sifting through it all, figuring out what is actually worthwhile considering is what I aim to do for you in this video. Okay, so first things first, reliability. You always hear, buy new, it's more reliable. Is that true with buying DTF printers in 2025? Well, yeah, generally speaking, a new printer, that's going to be way more reliable. It's fresh out of the box, it has that warranty, you don't have to worry about what the previous owner did or didn't do for that matter. That makes complete sense, I get that. But with the used machine, it's kind of like a mystery box. You don't know what you're going to get, how much wear and tear there is, and that can mean more breakdowns down the road, more time spent on maintenance. And here's the thing, guys. DTF technology is evolving at an insanely fast pace. So even if you do get a used DTF printer that's just a couple of years old, it could be missing out on some pretty significant advances in not only the reliability, but also the print quality. For example, some newer printers, they have what's known as like automated cleaning cycles. They help keep kind of everything running smoothly. It's going to prevent clogs. They have improved systems for white ink circulation, which is huge for DTF printing. That's often, I would say, thinking about it, where you're going to encounter the most issues. And these new features, they really do aim to address those common problems. So even if it does seem like a small thing, those newer models with those advanced features can honestly save you a lot of headaches down the line, and most importantly, getting up and running. It's not just about the age, it's about the technology that's packed into these newer machines. Now, what about converted Epson printers? You've seen those on the used market. People use those for DTF, right? Yeah, I know, you probably see a lot of those. I see this comment here at least like once a week on my channel, which by the way, if you guys are new here, get subscribed. I post videos like this every single week and daily videos showing the ins and outs behind the scenes running a DTF business in 2025 here with my partner Mick. So I know how popular these converted Epson printer solutions come across, and they do seem like they may be a compelling option for those. But you have to remember, these were not originally designed for DTF inks. They're being adapted, converted to actually work with these specific inks, and that can lead to some inherent reliability issues because the whole system wasn't built with those inks in mind. So it's kind of like trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. It's not going to work, and that can mean a lot of time spent tinkering, trying to troubleshoot problems instead of actually getting the work done. And for some people, again, for what it's worth, some people, that's part of the fun. But for others, that's going to be a huge time suck and something that you're going to want to avoid. And speaking of troubleshooting, what happens when the printer breaks down? you're on your own, right? Well, with a new printer, you can typically get some support from the manufacturer, training, troubleshooting help, but with a used DTF printer, especially if you're just buying it from some Joe Schmo, an individual, you're often left to figure things out for yourself, which, I mean, that sounds kind of scary. Now, you can find third-party support, but that can get pretty pricey and the quality is not always going to be guaranteed. And those online forums out there, you might be thinking, can those help? They can be a good resource, don't get me wrong, but it's definitely not going to be the same as having a dedicated technical support rep. When you're against the deadline, you have a customer emailing you, calling you, saying, where's my shirts? You're not gonna wanna have to deal with somebody who you just found on Facebook, hoping and just praying that they answer your messages and can help you get back on track to meet this deadline. That's something that you may not wanna be dealing with. So, okay, reliability and support are definitely going to be big considerations. What about replacement parts? That's another important one. If you're dealing with a newer model, it's usually pretty easy to get parts. But for those older discontinued printers, that honestly can be a real nightmare. Like, let's say you needed a new motherboard for a discontinued model, you might spend ages searching for it. And who knows if you even find it? Who knows what the condition is going to be in? And you could end up spending a fortune just to get it in working condition again. With used parts, you're taking a gamble. You're taking a gamble on the lifespan. You could replace a part only to have it fail a few months later. There's just no guarantees and you can't count on anything. Okay, so you may be starting to see a pattern here. There are definitely more risks involved with buying a used DTF printer. But of course, the biggest factor that most people are going to want to consider is going to be the print quality. At the end of the day, that's what matters, right? You want those prints looking amazing. So how does the quality of a used DTF printer compare to the new ones here in 2025? As I was saying before, new printers, they come with the latest and greatest in the printhead technology. That means that you can get vibrant colors, sharp details, really high quality prints that a used printer just might not be able to keep up with. It might come with a printhead that's been worn down, clogged nozzles, maybe even some sort of damage, and that can definitely affect the quality of your prints. Now, remember what we said about the technology evolving fast. Older models might not have the latest ink technologies or color management software, and that can have a huge impact on the final product and ultimately your customer satisfaction. So what I'm saying is, even if a used printer looks good on the surface, there could be hidden issues that affect the print quality. You really just never know what the status is, and I would definitely avoid buying printers that you can't turn on and test first. That's why it's so important when you are buying a used DTF printer to test it thoroughly. Look everything over before you actually hand over the cash. Look for things like banding in the prints. Make sure that you are getting a good nozzle check. Look for inconsistencies in the color. Check the sharpness, look for details, and I would ultimately say run a load ink. Make sure that all of the ink is coming out through the lines, through the CMYK and the white lines. You just want to make sure that the ink lines aren't maybe clogged halfway, and there is literally so many things to look and watch out for that I honestly would not touch a printer that I can't turn on and test with a 10-foot pole. Like, you couldn't pay me to take that DTF printer from you. All right, now let's talk about something that really, frankly, nobody wants to deal with: scams. Where are the biggest danger zones for scams in the DTF market? Definitely be cautious when you're buying from online marketplaces like Facebook Marketplace. There's a lot of fake profiles out there, sellers misrepresenting the condition of their printer, and prices that just seem too good to be true. Those are all going to be red flags, so if it smells too good to be true, it probably is. And just watch out for those payment scams. Always be wary of anyone asking for payment before you can actually come and pick it up or they ship the printer. Be careful of overpayment scams, the bait and switch tactics where they send you a different printer than the one that you saw in the pictures or that you agreed upon. There's a lot of ways to get tricked, so just make sure that you guys are taking your time. They might try and pressure you to decide quickly. They might let you refuse to inspect the printer in person or want you to use a untraceable payment method like Zelle or Venmo. These are all warning signs, guys. So basically, trust your gut. If something feels off, walk away. Even in these DTF online groups, you have to be careful. There might be people out there posing as experts, or even honestly just sellers trying to scam you. There are some unscrupulous people out there. Some sellers might not even know that they are misrepresenting things. They might think that their printer is completely great and it's in perfectly great condition, but there actually is some underlying issues. So don't fall for anything that you guys are actually seeing, anything that is on the description, in the pictures, unless you can see it with your own two hands, get your hands on it to see whether it is performing as they're saying is the only thing that I would really trust as far as you can throw it. Just always be suspicious of those people offering the remote access to your computer, I don't know, or asking you to pay for overpriced services, anything additional like that. It's just always a bad sign. So just try and be wary out there. There's a lot of scams, a lot of people trying to take your money. So you just need to be careful and protect yourself. Okay, so the used DTF market, it sounds like a minefield. Is it ever really a good idea to buy used? Who might actually benefit from going this route? It can be a good option for certain people, don't get me wrong. If you're on a tight budget and you're willing to accept the risks that I have talked about so far, a used DTF printer can make sense, but you have to be comfortable with potentially troubleshooting issues yourself. Or if you are a very experienced user, you know what you're looking for, you need a specific older model, for some reason it could work. And some people, like I've said, they're really into the DIY tinkering aspect of converting and fixing up old printers. So for those folks, I mean, challenge is part of the appeal. They enjoy getting their hands dirty, and the main draw is obviously that lower upfront cost. But for beginners who really just need a reliable printer for their business, who can't afford any downtime, who really want the latest technology and the newest features, new is definitely the way to go. It is raining, guys, so if you hear that, I apologize. But of course, if you do want the peace of mind that you can get with buying new, you want that warranty, because I mean, the truth is those hidden costs and the hassle of dealing with breakdowns can quickly, like I'm talking very fast, outweigh any of those initial cost savings. So we've talked about the things to consider, but let's get down to the brass tacks. What kind of resale values are we seeing nowadays for used DTF printers in 2025? It's tough to give exact numbers because it obviously depends on so many different factors, but roughly speaking, you might find smaller desktop models for anywhere from a few $100s all the way up to $4,000. Those 24-inch models, those could go from anywhere from $4,500 to I even saw some going for $12,000, depending on the brand, condition, and the age of the machine. But remember, these are just estimates. I'll link the full chart with the estimated prices, the estimated resale values for used DTF printers in 2025, so you can get an idea of what you should be paying. And for those of you who are looking to sell your DTF printer, you can use this as kind of a baseline on where to price yours. So I'll link that down below, or you can scan the QR code to download. How are the latest advancements in DTF technology and pricing affecting the used market? New printers are coming out with improved inks that are more vibrant and durable, more automation features that make them easier to use, and they offer those faster printing speeds as well. All of that makes older used models less appealing. It's like anything tech related, honestly, guys. It becomes obsolete quickly. You guys know an iPhone from 3 years ago is definitely not the same as the brand new iPhone 16 Pro. Plus, with more competition in the market, these new printers, they're becoming a lot more affordable. So with the price difference between new and used kind of decreasing, it might not make as much sense and be as of a significant savings to go used versus a new machine that just came out in 2025. That's something to really think about and keep in mind. There are going to be new technologies on the horizon. I mean, UV DTF, that's already super popular, really versatile. That could honestly further decrease the demand for traditional used DTF printers. Okay, so what are some of those game-changing features we're seeing in new DTF printers in 2025, Alex? What's actually new? Oh, let me tell you guys, there are actually some really cool things going on. So you've got printers like the Epson SureColor G6070. This is a 35-inch automated beast of a DTF printer. It has some insane automated maintenance features. It has a solid warranty that's backed up by Epson. And then there's also the M&R Quattro. This is a 6-head DTF printer that is known for its color accuracy and speed. And then there's the other options like the Mamaki UJV300. This is a 75-inch wide UV DTF printer that can print on a huge wide range of materials, but this is for UV, keep in mind, not normal traditional DTF. But then you've got the more compact and affordable options. Options like the Locklink iPrinter. This is a A3 XP600 DTF printer. You can get the printer and the oven kit, which is honestly, it's a great beginner option for people who are just getting into DTF. It has the automated maintenance features, and all in, guys, you can get that oven and printer combo for less than $3,500. So with new printers, you're getting less maintenance, more versatility, and a better overall experience. You're trading the potential hassles and limitations of a used printer for the ease and reliability of a new one. Now, I was just curious, and during my research for this video, I wondered, what are experienced DTF printer owners saying about all of this? Well, specific advice about the used DTF printer market is a little limited out there, I will say, but the overwhelming consensus is that reliability and uptime are the two most absolutely critical things from any DTF business. And speaking from experience, I can't emphasize this enough. The importance of things like regular maintenance and the fact that with a used printer, you just don't know what kind of care it's received can really make or break your DTF printer. You could be hearing something from somebody who bought a used DTF printer, from someone who had crazy OCD. They kept these print heads in immaculate condition. But then when you go and buy yours, you buy it from a person who saw an ad on TikTok for making their own t-shirts. They bought the DTF printer, printed one shirt, left it sitting, and then they never used it again. So it all depends on the person that you're buying it from. Generally, I'd advise to prioritize reliability, support, and long-term costs over trying to save a bit of money up front. You might also be wondering, how long do these DTF printers typically last, and what's involved in maintaining them? The lifespan, it varies depending on the model, how heavily it's used, and how well it's maintained, guys. The printhead, it's a critical component, and those do have a limited lifespan based on how much ink they print and how long they've been in production. Replacing a printhead is something you don't want to do. It's expensive, and as we know, DTF printers don't like sitting idle for long periods of time. The ink can dry out, it can cause clogs, so if you're not going to use it regularly, it might not be the best choice. So these machines are obviously great for the person who's looking to make t-shirts on the regular, but is it going to be good for a casual user? They do require regular maintenance, daily tasks like shaking the ink cartridges, doing nozzle checks, cleaning cycles, weekly thorough cleanings, and then there's the periodic, maybe quarterly maintenance of things like the dampers and the filters. And then even the environment that you keep the printer in, it matters. Temperature and humidity, it's going to affect the performance, and I'm sure as you probably are getting from everything I've been saying in the past couple minutes, it's a commitment. It is. And with a used DTF printer, you just don't know how well it's been maintained. So you could be walking into a situation where you're constantly dealing with issues. Okay, so bottom line, what's the most important takeaway for those of you who are trying to decide between a used and a new DTF printer? The core decision, I would say, comes down to this. Are you willing to accept the potential risks that come with a used printer, like the lower reliability, the lack of support, the difficulty finding parts, the potential print quality issues, and the risks of getting scammed? There is a lot of inherent things that can go wrong here. It's going to be a trade-off. While a used DTF printer might sound like a decent option for a very specific type of person, someone who's tech savvy, comfortable with troubleshooting, and willing to take on the risks, for most people, especially those who are new to DTF printing, or those who just need a reliable printer for their business, going new is generally the smarter choice. It's an investment in your success. And with printing technology evolving so rapidly, feature-rich DTF printers becoming more and more affordable, it's worth asking yourself, would waiting a little bit longer, saving up a little bit more for a new printer, ultimately save you and set you up for greater success and less frustration in the long run? Because those initial savings might not be worth the potential headaches and the potential limitations that you could face down the road. Thanks for joining us, guys. I really hope that you have gotten some value out of this deep dive. I hope that I have helped you answer the question of buying a used DTF printer and if it's something that's right for you. If you guys are new here, get subscribed, leave a like on the video so I know to make more videos like this, and I will see you guys in the next video.